Episode 29. Lessons from Embassy Security Applied to Active Shooter Protection in the Corporate World. Welcome back to Executive Protection Insights. I'm your host, Liam, and today we're going to explore something I consider essential for anyone in our industry: what the corporate world can learn from embassy security when it comes to active shooter protection. We'll dive into real-world embassy incidents from Nairobi, Ankara, Jeddah, Baghdad, Kabul, Manila, and more. But we're also going to confront a modern reality. The biggest threat to readiness isn't just the attacker, it's distraction. We live in a world where security officers are surrounded by smartphones, social media, constant notifications. And when your head's down looking at a screen, you're not scanning. And when you're not scanning, you're not detecting. A 2023 ASIS study found that nearly 68% of preventable security failures in the workplace involved a delay in noticing, and in most of those, distraction was a contributing factor. Today, I'm going to give you 6 core lessons from embassy security, plus a vigilance checklist at the end. This episode is going to be long, detailed, and very actionable. Lesson 1. Early detection is good. Early warning saves lives. Embassies excel at early detection because they build it into the culture. You're not just on post, you're actively scanning every second. But the real magic is when that detection turns into instant warning. Embassies heavily relied on radio communication because of speed, reliability, and focus. Embassies have known this for decades. If your corporate security plan doesn't reflect it, now's the time to change. Case Study 1, Nairobi, 1998. Guards spotted suspicious vehicles near the perimeter days before the bombing. They made notes, but because it wasn't treated as urgent, no immediate countermeasures were taken. That delay cost hundreds of lives. Case Study 2, Tunis, 2012. CCTV picked up the crowd forming long before protesters breached the gate. But the alert wasn't escalated until the mob was already at the doors. Staff had seconds to react instead of minutes. Case Study 3, Tbilisi, 2011. An IED was spotted on camera. This time training kicked in. The alarm went out instantly, the perimeter was cleared, and casualties were avoided. Case Study 4, Baghdad, 2020. A sudden crowd surge toward the perimeter was spotted on drone feeds. Within 20 seconds, internal staff were warned and secured in safe rooms before the compound walls were breached. Corporate parallels. Think about the YouTube HQ shooting in 2018. The shooter was seen on CCTV entering the property, but staff in many parts of the building didn't get an alert until shots were already fired. That's the same failure pattern embassies work to avoid. Key point. You must push alerts instantly and in plain language so people can act. Your camera operators and lobby guards have to be actively scanning, not scrolling TikTok. One missed glance at the wrong moment can erase all your investment in hardware. In the corporate world, early detection needs to be coupled with instant internal alerts, push notifications to every employee device within seconds, automated lockdown triggers for vulnerable floors, plain language warnings, not coded messages that confuse people in a panic. Because early detection without early warning is like smelling smoke and deciding to monitor the situation instead of pulling the fire alarm. Lesson 2, armed response that's not immediately visible. Embassy design almost always involves layered armed response. A visible deterrent outside and concealed, well-placed responders inside. Also, embassy QRF teams rely heavily on radio discipline. Case Study 1, Ankara, 2013. Visible guards engaged a suicide bomber at the gate. Hidden armed responders deeper in the compound were ready if he breached. Case Study 2, Sarajevo, 2011. A lone gunman opened fire from across the street. Concealed responders tracked his movement and prepared interception positions. Case Study 3, London, 2019. Hostile reconnaissance was met by visible questioning, while undercover security quietly shadowed the suspect until police could intervene. Case Study 4, Juba, 2016. During civil unrest, attackers probed the embassy. The visible guard force stayed calm, while concealed security units with heavier weapons moved into choke points inside. Corporate parallels. The Virginia Beach Municipal Building shooting in 2019 showed how a visible officer in one area can't cover the entire site, and why concealed armed responders positioned strategically can cut response time dramatically. In most active shooter incidents, the critical period is over before law enforcement arrives. Having trained armed responders inside the building, not just at the front desk, can change the outcome. Uniformed security sends a message: it's a deterrent. Concealed responders save lives. Lesson 3: The role of armed security. In embassy operations, armed security is more than marksmanship. It's about decision-making, movement, and coordination under stress. Case Study 1, Jeddah, 2004. Guards split into suppression and evacuation teams instantly when militants breached. No one waited for instructions. Case Study 2, Kabul, 2011. In a multi-hour attack, guards rotated positions, maintained communication with NATO, and avoided tunnel vision on one target. Case Study 3, Islamabad, 2008. Crowd control was maintained without firing a shot because armed guards read crowd behavior and managed escalation effectively. Case Study 4, Nairobi, 2019. During the Dusit D2 attack, nearby embassy security moved civilians into cover while coordinating with local police. Corporate parallels. At the Las Vegas shooting in 2017, many armed private security officers were on site, but only those with prior dynamic response training were able to move effectively under fire. If you have armed security, you need clear rules of engagement, scenario-based drills using the actual workspace, pre-established coordination with local police. Because the middle of an active shooter incident is the wrong time to be introducing yourself to responding officers. An armed guard who's distracted is not an asset. They're a liability. If you're not scanning constantly, you can't react in time to use that weapon lawfully and effectively. Lesson 4. Technology as a force multiplier. Embassies use tech to extend human senses and speed up communication. Case Study 1, Baghdad Embassy. AI analytics detect unusual patterns and push real-time alerts to every guard post. Case Study 2, Manila, 2018. Facial recognition flagged a known threat actor. Intervention happened in under 20 seconds. Case Study 3, Kiev, 2022. Integrated alerts cut reaction time by more than 2 minutes compared to older systems. Case Study 4, Amman, 2016. A vehicle-based threat was detected by radar and camera systems long before it reached the perimeter. Corporate parallels. AI gun detection cameras could have alerted faster in the Jacksonville Landing shooting, 2018, but only if staff watching those alerts treated them as real. AI camera analytics, access control integration, and mass notification systems aren't luxuries anymore. They're the difference between reacting in time and becoming a statistic. Tech is worthless without engaged operators. The AI can flash red all day, but if your operator is watching Netflix in the control room, it's just a screensaver. Lesson 5, safe rooms aren't just for diplomats. Every embassy has designated safe havens, and staff know how to reach them. Case Study 1, Kabul, 2011. Safe havens kept staff alive during prolonged firefights. Case Study 2, Dusit D2, 2019. Hotel staff with embassy training led civilians to secure rooms that weren't even labeled as such. because they had pre-identified them. Case Study 3, Westgate Mall, 2013. The absence of prepared safe rooms contributed to higher casualties. Case Study 4, Baghdad, 2004. Staff in safe havens with independent comms coordinated with QRF teams during a mortar attack. Corporate parallels. The Aurora, Illinois workplace shooting, 2019, showed that even when lockdown was called, many employees didn't know the safest place to shelter. A safe room only works if people remember where it is and move there without hesitation. Lesson 6. Integrating lessons into corporate protection. Embassy security isn't one thing. It's a layered system: early detection plus early warning, visible deterrence plus hidden arm capability, human skill plus advanced tech, safe havens plus coordinated evacuation. The NFL office incident in New York shows corporate targets can be as tempting as government facilities. If you want to survive the worst day, you borrow from those who've already lived through it and adapted. The embassy approach works because it's layered. Early detection and early warning, visible deterrence and concealed response, technology and disciplined human attention, safe havens and coordinated evacuation. Corporate environments can and should adopt the same mindset. Vigilance checklist for corporate security teams. No device zones. CCTV operators and entry control points are phone-free. Active scanning drills. Practice identifying threats in a crowd from live camera feeds. Immediate alert protocols. Treat every confirmed threat queue as urgent until proven otherwise. Mental reset training. Shift changes start with a 2-minute scan of the environment before assuming duties. Layered response mapping. Know your visible deterrence and concealed capabilities. Safe haven familiarity. Every employee can walk to the nearest safe room blindfolded. Continuous education. Monthly briefings on emerging threats and vigilance best practices. The radio advantage in crisis response. Instant, push to talk in under a second. All informed. Everyone hears it, not just the person you call. Hands-free. Earpieces keep your weapon or pen in hand. No distractions, no social media, no personal texts. That's it for this masterclass episode of Executive Protection Insights. The embassy model works because it combines equipment, planning, and a relentless focus on human attention. In a distracted world, the ability to stay switched on is a competitive advantage, and sometimes a life-saving one. Stay alert, stay disciplined, and I'll see you next time.